Hey you guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel, family. You already know what time it is. Gang. We understand. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button to be a part of the crew. Smash that like button to see what it do, okay? Y'all gotta excuse me because I'm finishing up my hair, but in between I'm making videos, I'm cleaning, all of that. Alright, so I wanted to come to you guys today to break down the energies as usual. Let you guys know some of the energies that you might be experiencing around you, what you might experience in terms of other people's energy. Y'all already know if y'all been watching these videos. All right, so we've been talking uh lately. It's been a lot of earth, air energy. Now it's the time to where you're gonna find yourself trying to be very independent, getting structured. Now's the time to where you're kind of like being forced to organize your life. If you are feeling behind, don't feel alone because a lot of us have had to restructure our lives, reconstruct things, put people out of our lives, restart things, start over from point A, even though you might not want to. Um, you might be going through situations to where you have to structure your friendships and stuff like that. Try not to be caught up in certain friendships, dealing with individuals that you know are sitting back, sucking you dry in terms of energy wise. Try not to get caught up in situations to where you feel like you always have to validate someone in terms of their feelings and emotions that they're going through. Sometimes just because of this energy, this is the energy to where people are having to be pushed to be independent and to gain structure in their life by themselves. A lot of individuals are having to do that and experience that. So try not to always feel like you have to hold someone's hand in order for them to get through whatever it is that they need to get through in terms of structuring their lives. Right now is the time to where we're free thinkers, but then at the same time, you're having to be an independent thinker, whether it comes to thinking about your life, how to put it all together, how to put the pieces of the puzzles together, stuff like that. All right, so let's get into it. Today is February 10th, 2022. That correlates to the number 9 in terms of numerology. Today we got the moon in Gemini square Jupiter in Pisces. All right, so I'm gonna run down the list, break it down for y'all. This will be the energy to where things might not go as planned whenever it comes to your relationship. You might say something that the person doesn't like or make them look at you differently, especially with this moon and Gemini energy. You gotta watch what it is that you say and how you come across. Because it's very dualistic, and then at the same time you have to watch who it is that you're like, you know what I'm saying, just how you communicate in the energy, in the tone that you use in the conversation. Individuals could be very delicate at this time with their feelings, you know what I'm saying, feeling some type of way based upon what you say. Individuals could be taking it the wrong way in terms of having some sort of aggression or upset, or feeling like you hating or something like that. So you just have to be careful with what it is that you say to individuals, you know what I'm saying, not really saying step on eggshells, but it's one of those things to where um, it's like based upon everything that everybody's going through, having to restructure their lives. Individuals are very delicate whenever it comes to their feelings, but this is one of those situations to where, that's why I said try not to feel like you're stepping on eggshells, because this is one of those things with this energy right here. With this energy right here is where people have to hear, the honest truth. So this is why we got the moon in Gemini. You're gonna have to utilize two sides to yourself in terms of being honest and straight up, and then at the same time maybe even caring a little bit, but at the same time not giving a fuck. All right. This will be the energy of having frustration with having others, in terms of trying to have other people see your vision. It might be frustrated whenever it comes to explaining, breaking things down. You might find yourself in opposing energy, you know what I'm saying, feeling like you can't really talk to people in terms of like family, friends, whenever it comes to trying to express your dreams, your ideas, the vision that you have of how things should go, the vision that you have for how your life should go. This could also be difficult whenever it comes to explaining to family, because family, they be having set mind frames in terms of how they feel like you should structure your life or how you should go about accomplishing things. So it's kind of like that opposition energy in terms of like intellect right now. Whenever it comes to generations, we're seeing that in terms of our way of thinking is different, our way of going about things is different. We also have more opportunities to utilize as well, which is kind of making us a more lazier generation, just because of the fact of, it's like we have so many like excuses that we like to come up with for why we can't accomplish or do things, and it's because we don't feel like taking the time to do so. We want to instead get on social media, interact, and just play around, have fun, and look at other people's lives in terms of what it is that they're doing, you know, in order for us to have some sort of satisfaction, looking at other people go wrong in their lives to have some sort of satisfaction instead of, you know, saying, you know what, let me take the time to sit back and correct things in terms of my life. All right. You might also be in the energy of feeling alone based upon your way of thinking. You are one of the chosen ones. You'll experience this a lot to where you'll have a lot of situations to where your way of thinking might be different. You know, it's one of those things to where you'll feel different in terms of the crowd of people that you're around. You could even be in environments to where it's like a lot of people and, you know, everybody's relating. And then it's like, you know, you feel like some of the stuff, like, yeah, you could relate to individuals, but it's like, it might not be the stuff that you want to talk about. It might not be, you know, it's like one of those things to where you might be looking, you might have to kind of like conform to, you might feel like you have to like conform to the general idea in order for you to feel accepted. So that's another thing. So this is also energy of us having to be independent whenever it comes to our way of thinking. That's why I said free thinkers, but also having to be very independent in our way of thinking. Feeling like you don't have to always support everybody's ideas. You could be able to utilize your own independent way of thinking. Um, this also be the energy of thinking illogical about things. You might have a one-sided point of view or have encounter other people who see things very one-sided. That's why I said we'll see the difference in terms of generations. Uh, so that'll be another thing. You'll see the difference in terms of your friends and your family members. They might think about things differently or having one sided point of view. You trying to explain and break some things, and you might be trying to put them hip to something and letting them know something, but it's one of those things to where it's like just based upon their view and the shit that they done went through and the environment and stuff like that, they might not see your viewpoint on things. They might not agree with what it is that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful. Not everybody situation just because you pitching an idea or you giving some new way of thinking. This is another thing. This is why you have to have duality here with this moon and Gemini. Just because you might be presenting things a different way or you have a different level of awareness, that doesn't mean that everybody's gonna hop on board. That doesn't mean that everybody's meant to hop on board. So this is where we get that independence energy to where you might find yourself having to ride your own train. Also, you might find that you might feel like your life is full of chaos. You might not realize your thoughts and feelings are manifesting whenever it comes to your reality. You might not realize the fact that whatever it is that you're putting your energy towards is actually manifesting in terms of your reality. You might meet other individuals who are an example of this to where you could see the fact that their way of thinking or their way to go about things is manifesting in their reality and their reality not looking so sweet. And then it's like one of those situations where based upon them going through that, they'll either want to bring you down and have you be a part of that. So it's like, you know, so that way you can see things the way that they see things, and then you start to have a more down outlook on things, or it'll be one of those things to where, you know, birds of a feather flock together. You know, they looking for somebody to bring down. I forgot what I was going with that. What the other viewpoint was about to be. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, but it was there. I just lost track of it. It might come back to me. Um, But yeah, you might see other people that are an example of this to where their thoughts and feelings are manifested in terms of their reality. And this will be one of those things to where, you know, you'll have individuals around you to where it's like, that's why I said not everybody's meant to hop on your train whenever it comes to you presenting ideas or putting yourself out there or supporting your ideas, your way of thinking, or your vision, because it's like other people are dealing with their own situations. So it's like they might not realize that some of the things that they're doing is manifesting in terms of their reality. So it's like you trying to like help them or you trying to like, you know, tell them different things, but it's like they already stuck in their own, you know what I'm saying? They already stuck in their own world. So it's like they might not be able to see beyond their own world. They might not be aware of everything that it is that you're trying to present. And until that person gets out of that situation, their level of awareness isn't going to be raised. All right. Also, you might realize the fact that you might see that your thoughts could be destructive, or you might realize that other people's thoughts can be destructive. And this will be that detachment energy with this Sun in Aquarius, where you realize that you have to detach away from certain individuals. Um, you might realize that now's the time to develop and grow with your way of thinking. You might need to grow up a little bit. You might need to do some maturity whenever it comes to your way of thinking. Maturity in terms of your mind, your consciousness, become more aware of certain situations, not just your situation, other people as well, caring for other individuals, not just caring for yourself, not being selfish. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Also, uh, in terms of social media, This will be situations to where you'll see someone lost in terms of their way of thinking, and it's like they're trying to come across relatable, but it's like no one can relate to them type situation. You know what I'm saying? There's no luck in terms of them relating, especially with this Moon and Gemini square Jupiter and Pisces energy. So this will be situations where you might see somebody like Kanye West be presented, and like whatever it is that he going through with Kim. This will be situations to where he'll be like, I think that I should be buying all the food inside of Kim's house, and they should only eat on my time schedule type stuff. And you'll be like, what? Like, that don't make no sense. But it's that way person's way of thinking. And it's like he'll try to come across as being relatable and be like, yeah, y'all see what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Ain't y'all like that in y'all households to where it's one person that goes out and does the shopping and buys all the stuff, and y'all be like, yeah, but no, not on that type of, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That'll be in terms of like industry, that's in like masonry type level. All right, first, this is just so that way you guys can understand like examples of why certain stories are put out in the news and the media, why certain celebrities are presented in a certain type of way. Is so that way it could kind of fit like an astrological alignment and transit that's going on, and then also the numbers and stuff like that. Number nine, somebody that's going through the same repetitive cycle. All right, also next, you might see that your relationship has some blockages in terms of communication. You might feel like you want to communicate more. This might also could be situations to where you are blocked in terms of communicating. Somebody might have blocked you out. So you might come to terms, or you might see this going on right now. You might be around people who don't have a prosperous way of thinking or viewing things. So this should be that energy to where it causes you to kind of like go outside of your environment or outside of your surroundings, that outside of the box type of thinking, to where you become very creative. This could also be situations where could also become lost as well whenever it comes to your way of thinking. So just by you being around people who don't have a prosperous way of thinking, it'll cause situations to where you're not able to really, like you're not able to think outside the box. You're not able to come up with new ideas. You're not able to come up with new ways of doing things. You have to rely on others, or you might find yourself procrastinating a lot, or just sitting around being that individual, be like, oh, how did so and so accomplish that, or how did they do that? But it's because, you know what I'm saying, like, you ended up, that's where that birds of a feather flock together type of situation kicks in. Also, you might find difficulty in terms of expressing your creativity. um, so now will be a time to where it'll be difficult for you to express your creativity. You might have blockages whenever it comes to your mental thinking. This could be in terms of artistry. Whenever it comes to you creating something, say for instance, painting something, might not know what to paint, writing something, don't know what to write, coming up with a new song, new TV show or something like that, don't know what to write down and stuff like that. Experiencing writer's block. You might find yourself lost in thought a lot of times, whether that be in terms of reflecting on things or just trying to take time to just think about things that's going on in your life. You might reflect on people that you're not communicating with. This might also be the energy with the moon in Gemini trine Saturn and Aquarius. This will be the energy of wanting to connect with others, wanting to communicate emotions and feelings that are bottled up or restrictions in life. You might come across individuals wanting to do that, talk your head off, communicate everything that they're going through, and you just like, listen, I got my own problems type situation. Or you might be that individual. This might be a day to work on relationships that failed. So you'll see people coming back trying to work on failed relationships, trying to like, smooth things over, act like everything's cool type of situation. Depending on how things go or what was said, it'll be one of those situations where you be like, you'll be thinking about what that person said and be like, no, I'm not letting them back in. Ooh, that was for a reason. Based upon what they communicate with you. Let your guard down to open up or understand someone. Some of y'all individuals might be letting your guard down in order for you to open up or understand someone. So this will be you putting yourself in someone else's shoes in order for you to understand where it is they coming from, their perspective, what is that they going through. Um, then there's also providing others with new ways to see things to help them overcome obstacles in their life. So this will be situations, especially with this moon in Gemini, where you'll be able to provide why can't I talk? You'll be able to provide individuals with other ways of thinking, so that way they're able to overcome obstacles in their life. This is where you're able to help other individuals raise their awareness about situations. You might find yourself relying on others to overcome mental insecurities, or you might meet someone in this energy to where they're relying on others in terms of their words to overcome mental insecurities. You might need a little bit of verbal validation in order for you to overcome some of the insecurities that you're going through, or you might come across somebody that needs that right now. Um, Also, letting others know where they stand in your life. Like, I just, every time I'm saying or talking about something, I have notifications popping up. It must be somebody's going through all of this right here that I'm listening. But letting others know where they stand in your life, creating boundaries whenever it comes to relationships. Some of you guys let individuals go too far, take it too far whenever it comes to relationships. Some of you guys need to put some sort of boundaries or restrictions. Stop letting that person come in and shit all over you or shit on your face, okay? You probably get tired of cleaning that shit off your face, I'm pretty sure. So in that situation, create some sort of restrictions or boundaries whenever it comes down to it. Let that person know that they cannot keep on doing that to you. Otherwise, the person's going to be like, okay, it's acceptable based upon you constantly doing the same thing, letting them back in. This will be situations to where you might find individuals created boundaries or restrictions against you type of situation. So you need somebody to communicate how it is that you feel about the restrictions that someone has put up around you, put up against you. Um, this might be situations where you find that things are very restrictive whenever it comes to your life. You just not able to do certain things like how other people do it. You just not able to, and that might be something that you might need to accept. Um, that you have to find your own calling. You can't look to other people to really create it for you or to really, copy others. Um, you might find yourself being the person in the middle that whenever it comes to helping other people make amends. This could also be duality to where it's like people want you to kind of like go with their way of thinking, but then another person wants you to go with their way of thinking type situation. So it's like you have to kind of like play the middleman, but then at the same time have your own way of thinking as well presented to both individuals, so that way it satisfies both people, so that way you don't end up causing some sort of upset or uproar. You guys have to be careful if y'all are playing monkey in the middle type situation for individuals like that. It sometimes you guys need to make a decision. Sometimes you need to be in situations to where you're not always validating a person's feelings. Sometimes you need to not always be the yes man. All right. Also, this will be situations whenever it comes to this energy with the moon and Gemini trine Saturn and Aquarius. You need to find duality in terms of how you communicate with different individuals, so that way you don't cause restrictions. There might be, just like I said, duality in terms of the way that you come across. You might need to utilize more anger, not more anger, but more masculinity towards someone, so that way you could get your point across, so that way they could understand the situation. Stop going back to that person, stop doing such and such, you know what I'm saying? There might be situations where you need to be more emotional, more nurturing, or more caring. There might be situations where you need to just not care at all, you know what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to balance that duality out whenever it comes to Gemini. um you might be a person that where you switch up and you have others create boundaries against you. This is where you're going against the energy where you're utilizing too much duality, to where you're constantly switching up in terms of your personality based upon the situations that you're going through. So you're constantly letting your environment affect your emotions and your feelings. Why I keep getting notifications as soon as I say something. Okay. To where you let you know what I'm saying, that affect your emotions and feelings. Um you might be curious as to why people created restrictions. Try not to push things too much. Try not to sit back and like feel like you need to over communicate, overcompensate. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things to where this is where we get that Sun in Aquarius, to where you have to be comfortable with people detaching, or here we go. You gotta be comfortable with people detaching. Um, you might sit back and be in that energy to where you'll discuss other people's obstacles in order to take the focus off of the bad choices that you're making. This will be that toxic energy to where you sitting back and it's like you already know what it is that you're going through. You don't reflect it on your life. You know you're going through some BS. But in order to take the heat off of you, in order for not everybody not to look at you too crazy, you sit back and feel like you need to sit back and discuss other people's problems, obstacles, and things that they're going through. You know what I'm saying? But it's more of like you trying to like find something in relation, but at the same time, it's like you doing it in a toxic way in terms of trying to bring that person down. All right, so hopefully this helps you guys out for today. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.